welcome back to another Intro to Ashes of Creation video. I'm Chibi Bree, and today we are talking about tanking. Tanks are one of 4 classes that was created for Alpha Zero and that you can see here in this PAX video. Tanking in Ashes of Creation is unique in that you control the battlefield, making sure that the mobs do what you want them to do. This can be done a number of ways, and not just with aggro. One such example would be to actually modify the battlefield. Additionally, any class combos with the tank as the primary will be viable for upper end raids. These classes include Knight, Guardian, Knight Shield, Warden, Spell Shield, Keeper, Paladin, and Argent. Each skill in the primary tree will have several augment options from the secondary tree. You receive skill points as you level, which are then used to level up the skills within your skill tree. However, you will not be able to max out all of the skills in a skill tree. An example of the augment would be the rush skill that the fighter has, which allows them to rush towards enemies and upon reaching them, deal X amount of damage and the chance to knock them down. If mage was the secondary, which would make this fighter mage a spell sword, they would choose to apply a teleportation augment. Now the fighter mage could just teleport there, eliminating the charge time on the skill. I'll get more into how augmenting works later. For now, let's look at the skills and explain their progression. Currently, we don't know much about the specifics of each class combo augmentation options, but we do know the base skills and abilities that tanks have. As you can see, there are some areas left blank, for we are still kind of waiting on more information on them. The first ability is an Absorb Bubble, which absorbs a fixed amount of damage, then does that damage to nearby targets upon expiration. At rank 2, this increases the duration of the buff, and at rank 3, it adds a Thord damage while absorbing its active. The second ability is Block, which is a passive. It increases your block percentage by X amount for rank 1, and further increases it by rank 2. At rank 3, you get a chance to deal weapon damage on a successful block. The third ability is Bulwark, which allows you to summon a wall in front or behind of you, and it knocks down enemies if they come in contact with the wall. At rank 2, it adds damage to the knockdown, and at rank 3, you're able to place it anywhere on the battlefield within a certain distance. The fourth ability is Charge. You charge to a single target on the battlefield, friend or enemy, and do damage to enemy targets upon reaching them. At rank 2, you do additional physical and magical mitigation upon reaching the target for a short duration. And at rank 3, it does damage and knocks down enemies between the caster and the target. Fifth, we have Cover. You target a friendly player to absorb 50% of their incoming damage for 6 seconds. At rank 2, it increases the damage that's redirected, and at rank 3, it gives the target damage reduction buff for the duration. The damage reduction applies to both the tank and the ally. The sixth ability is Crowd Control Break. You can break non-animated knockdown crowd control effects such as Root, Snare, and Stun. At rank 2, it increases resistance to crowd control effects, and at rank 3, you gain focus for each CC effect that is cleared through this use. The seventh is Hatred. At rank 1, single target adds hate. At rank 2, you can add a forced target lock. At rank 3, you can add hate over time per tick. As a tank, you have a heavy armor passive. At rank 1, it increases your armor given by heavy armor. At rank 2, it further increases armor given. At rank 3, each piece of armor added gives health percentage bonuses to the tank. Next, we have Impale. You target an enemy and launch a spear to damage and pull the enemy into melee range. The lasso effect pulls the target to the tank and does damage. At rank 2, it adds a stun. At rank 3, it adds damage over time. Then we have the Longsword combo. You target an enemy and use your sword and shield to strike with multiple blows, dealing damage and powering up your focus with this weapon attack. Melee Strike does damage and adds hate, and at rank 2, damage over time and hate over time. At rank 3, this changes to a cone effect. As a utility skill, tanks have Perception, which allows them to detect threats within the range of the perception. Next up is Righteous Fury. This allows you to use your ultimate when your focus has reached 80% to launch spears at all targets within your forward arc, dealing damage and pulling them to you. It also pulls targets in a cone to the caster and does damage. At rank 2, it adds target lock and hate, and all targets pulled now target lock the tank, and their hate is increased. At rank 3, it increases the arc radius to 360 degrees. Shield Might allows you to single target knock down or stun, also known as bash. At rank 2, this changes to a frontal cone attack, and at rank 3, it increases the block chance for a duration after success. The duration of block chance increases based on the number of targets you've hit. Shield Throw. You throw a shield and it adds hate. At rank 2, this changes to a cone attack. At rank 3, it adds a stun to the first target hit. Finally, we have the ultimate defense skill. It uses focus to increase your physical and magical defenses as well as immobilize you. At rank 2, you receive increased healing from outside sources while it's active. And at rank 3, it breaks crowd control on cast and grants invulnerability to crowd control. In the coming castle siege, as part of the Alpha 1, you band together in a raid to destroy or protect a castle. Steven has said previously that if 8 of the same archetype bands together, you can create a combined effect. For example, if we had 8 total tanks that got together, each one uses their bulwark or wall ability, they could create a larger wall that could divide 2 raids, stopping battle for a moment using damage and block skills. There is so much more that will come in play when playing a tank. I can't wait to uncover more information on augmenting and abilities. Either way, I'll be certain to have a tank friend nearby while I go out and explore the world of Vera. Let me know which of the tank classes you are interested in, or if there is another class you want to hear more about. Are you looking for more Ashes of Creation stuff? Check out Fushi, who does guides, tips, news, gameplay, and more on Ashes of Creation, as well as Simurg, who is the owner of the Simcast, a podcast centered on discussing all things Ashes of Creation. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until next time!